on behalf of this year's graduating class is David LeBlanc. David is from Long Island, New York, and a candidate for a double major in political science and criminal justice, specializing in Homeland Security. He has served as president of Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity, was a resident assistant, provided tutoring in microeconomics in the Learning Resource Center, and has been on the dean's list every semester. David's future plan is to one day work for the U.S. government. Please join me in welcoming David LeBlanc.
St. Leo faculty, professors, family, friends, and fellow classmates. It is truly an honor to speak before you today as your commencement speaker representing the class of 2014. Thank you all. It is believed that many college graduates rarely remember who their commencement speaker was at their own graduation. So if you remember me years from now, I would be delighted, but if not, I can live with that. But what I truly hope that you will remember for years to come is my message for you all within my speech today. This speech is not going to be about me because the last 4 years were about all of us. However, I would like to share a story with you today that I've never told anybody in my entire life. It has changed my views towards life, and I hope it will do the same for you. 7 years ago, on November 25th, 2007, I walked into my grandfather's bedroom where he was spending his last moments of his life to have a conversation with him. I always remember walking into his bedroom during the final weeks of his life to see if he was strong enough to talk back to me. On this particular day, I remember him struggling hard to say one thing. So I put my ear closer to his mouth and he said, "I wish I had 10 more years. I love you." Those are his last words to me, and 2 days later, he passed away. I never really thought about it until I had to write this speech. Why 10 more years? Why that number? It wasn't until recently that I figured it out that if he was granted 10 more years to live on this earth, he would have been able to witness my college graduation today, my cousin Jessica's graduation, and my brother Chris's graduation from college within the next 3 years. He always wanted his grandchildren to receive a college education, and it would have meant the world for him to see that. So today, we should remember how special it is, not only for ourselves, but for our friends and family who have been there for us all these years. Behind each of us here is a person or a group that helped us get to this point. We are able to graduate because we received help from someone. I know I wouldn't be standing here without the help from my mom, my dad, my brother Chris, my Aunt Jeanette, my Aunt Patty, and my grandparents, especially my grandma who's in the audience. Some of you may continue to go on to school and then get jobs after that. Or some of you may try to get jobs right away. Or some of you might even have a job lined up right now. But it is always important to keep in mind that no matter what career you get into, you will be affecting someone in some way. Throughout our whole time here at St. Leo University, finding help was possibly the easiest thing to do because everyone here was so willing to give it. With the faculty members, professors, coaches, tutors, fellow classmates, teammates, fraternity brothers, and sorority sisters, no one is alone at St. Leo University. Everyday conversations with the dining hall workers, talking at dinner for hours with friends, fishing and relaxing down by the lake, or even hanging out in the library. These are the things that make every day at St. Leo such a big blessing on a small campus. The things you remember most from St. Leo University will not come from the subjects you were taught in the classroom, although that would be nice if you did. But instead, you will remember the little interactions and situations you found yourselves in each day that ultimately built up over the years that formed who you are into the person you are today. If some of you are sitting here today and are unhappy because of something you should have done or didn't do, that is totally okay, because the past 4 years were here for you to realize your strengths and your weaknesses so that you can improve them from this day forward with your degrees as your new foundation and set higher goals for yourself. As President John F. Kennedy told students at Rice University in 1962 about his ambitions to go to the moon, we must have goals, not because they are easy, but because they are hard, because that goal will organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win. That same quote applies to each of us here this very day. When we have something we want to achieve, we must dedicate all our time and effort to make sure we will reach our goal. But will we be able to overcome the challenges that come with the journey? Our attitudes will ultimately determine our success in overcoming the challenges we will face from this day forward. It is important to keep in mind that none of you, my fellow classmates, are failures. Nor will you ever be a failure if you keep moving forward and strive every day to have a positive attitude and work hard for what you love and enjoy. If you ever find yourself in a pool of negative thoughts, be sure to jump out of it immediately, because when you change the way you think, you will change the way you feel. We all know that on our road to our goals and ambitions after college, everything is not going to go the way we plan sometimes. With this in mind, I would like to talk about Viktor Frankl. He was an Austrian psychiatrist, and when Hitler's troops invaded Austria in 1938, Viktor Frankl chose to stay back for the concern of his elderly parents, despite having the opportunity to flee to the United States. 4 years later, Frankl, his wife, brother, and parents were deported to a concentration camp near Prague. After the deportation, Frankl would stay in 4 different Nazi camps and survive the Holocaust. From the experiences in imprisonment, Frankl realized that a person is most likely to survive a suffering or ordeal if he finds a reason to live, whether it is a big one or an insignificant one. He writes in his book, A Man's Search for Meaning, that the meaning of life always changes, and we can discover this meaning of life in 3 different ways. 1, by creating a work or doing a deed. 2, by experiencing something or encountering someone. And 3, by the attitude we take towards unavoidable suffering. Frankl states, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of his human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. No one can choose your attitude beside yourself. So, St. Leo University class of 2014, I hope you all find your reason that motivates you to live each day. Whatever career you want to pursue with your life, whatever makes you happy, wherever you want to travel, do it, and do it with a positive attitude. And do not even ever think about quitting, because life is too short to say, I wish I had 10 more years. Thank you.